The data didn't show a problem. That's why no one acted. This is where certainty breaks. Look at it. It's just a building. It passed inspections. It housed families. It met every single regulation on the books. The concrete was poured to code. The wiring was signed off. The plumbing certified. Every box was ticked. Every form was filed. It was a portrait of compliance, a testament to following the rules. Nothing about it screamed danger. You see the tricycles on the balconies, the welcome mats at the doors, the faint blue glow of a television in a window after dark. It's a place of quiet routines, of lives being lived, one ordinary day at a time. And that's important. That's the most important part of the story. Because panic never starts with something that looks safe. It doesn't begin in the light of day with neighbors saying hello in the lobby. Panic is a creature of the dark. It needs a crack to get in, a shadow to hide in. But here, there were no shadows. Only the comforting hum of a system working exactly as designed. The paperwork tells the same story. Page after page of assessments, reports, and approvals. Fire risk, within acceptable range. Materials, compliant. Renovation, approved. Notice the language. It's a language of careful distance, of managed liability. It's not emotional, it's procedural. The reports never say safe, and they never say dangerous. Those are human words. Words with weight, words that demand action. Instead, they use a different word, a quieter word, a word that soothes. Acceptable. Acceptable risk is a mathematical word. It's a term born in a spreadsheet, not in a home. It's the language of probabilities, of cost-benefit analysis. It takes the messy, unpredictable reality of 100 different lives and turns it into a number, a single, clean, manageable number. It means the chance of disaster is not zero. It never is. Zero is an impossibility, an ideal that doesn't exist in the real world. But it's low enough. Low enough not to trigger an alarm. Low enough to satisfy the regulation. Low enough to be considered a success. Acceptable. This is the magic of statistics. They smooth the extremes. They flatten the peaks and valleys into a gentle, predictable curve. They promise order. If 99 buildings don't burn, the one that might becomes a rounding error. It's not a home full of people. It's a data point, an anomaly, a statistical ghost. Outliers don't trigger urgency. They don't demand a response. They get averaged out. The system is designed to find the mean, the average, the most likely outcome. And the most likely outcome was that nothing would happen. Day after day. And once something is averaged, it stops feeling personal. It becomes abstract. It becomes someone else's problem. It becomes a risk we are all willing to accept because we don't think it will ever apply to us. We trust the average because the average feels safe. The voices came one by one, a slow trickle at first, then a stream. Residents raised concerns, small things, worries you might dismiss, a draft from a window frame, the way a door didn't quite catch its latch, and bigger things, fire exits, cladding, communication, the silence that followed an alarm test that never came, and the system listened. Oh, it was a beautiful system. It never missed a thing. Each concern logged, a timestamp, a number, a category, neat, tidy, proof of listening, each reviewed, passed from one desk to another. A checklist was followed, a box was ticked. The process hummed along, smooth and efficient. It felt like progress. It felt like care. Each answered, a reply sent, a ticket closed, a loop completed. The system sighed, satisfied. Another job well done. But answers do not equal action. An answer is a period at the end of a sentence. It's a wall. It's a way to say, we're done here. And behind that wall, the building kept its secrets. Because safety exists inside budgets. It lives on a spreadsheet, in a cell, next to another cell marked cost. Every improvement competes with cost. Every warning is weighed against a number. The spreadsheet doesn't have a heart. It has a formula. The model whispered its quiet reassurance. If probability appears low, cost feels unnecessary. A risk, but an acceptable one. That word, acceptable, a stamp of approval on a sleeping danger. This isn't cruelty, it's optimization, the responsible thing to do. A sensible, sober assessment of reality. You'd do it too. I do. We see a headline, a warning, a single data point that screams for attention, and we scroll past. It's an outlier, an anomaly. It doesn't fit the curve, so we smooth it out. There was no immediate threat. That phrase matters. It's a key that locks 1,000 doors, a filter for the human eye, because immediate narrows vision. It tells you what not to see. It gives you permission to look away from the horizon, to focus only on the step right in front of you. Anything gradual escapes it. A slow decay, a creeping rot, a problem that builds itself one quiet day at a time. Anything building slowly feels patient, and patience looks rational. It doesn't demand a response, not yet. This is the moment people point to, the one letter, the final warning, the smoking gun. They hold it up and say, right here, how could they miss this? But moments don't stand alone. They are never just one thing. They're smoothed over, filed away. They sit inside averages. We trusted the average. The average was calm. The average was stable. The average promised that today would be just like yesterday. And averages don't panic. They don't scream. They just are acceptable. When the event begins, it doesn't announce itself. There is no siren, no sudden alarm, just a quiet hum, a little out of tune, a flicker in the corner of your eye. The system sees it. Of course it does. But it doesn't recognize it as catastrophic. Not yet, because the models whisper reassurances. They are built on a foundation of history, on the sturdy bedrock of what has happened before. And what has happened before has always been contained. The models predict containment. They draw neat lines around the chaos, promising it will not spread. The models predict time. They offer a schedule for resolution, a countdown to calm. 2 hours, maybe 3. The models predict order. They show a clear path from problem to solution, a series of steps that have always worked. They promise a return to the average, and we trusted the average. But reality does not follow a script. It doesn't care about past performance. It doesn't respect the neat lines on a chart. Reality stutters. It improvises. It finds the one path the model never considered, the one variable that was rounded down, the one possibility deemed acceptable. Afterward, in the cold, quiet light of the next day, the investigators arrive. They walk through the silence. They open their folders onto empty desks, and they ask the question that always comes too late, the question that hangs in the air like dust. Why wasn't this prevented? The answer is colder than negligence. It's more sterile, more reasonable. It wasn't ignored, it was evaluated. The spreadsheet nodded. The report was filed. The risk was logged, quantified, and stamped. Acceptable. It just never exceeded the threshold. The red line we drew in the sand, the line that separates concern from crisis, was never crossed. The numbers flirted with the edge, they danced right up to it, but they never took that final step. And so, the system did exactly what it was designed to do. It waited. Statistics are designed to calm us. They are a soft blanket in a cold universe of chance. They tell us how often something happens, which is another way of telling us how often it doesn't. They give us the comfort of the average, the safety of the mean. You scroll past it. I do too. We see the 1 in a million chance and find solace in the million, but they do not tell us how it feels when it does happen. They don't capture the scent of smoke, the feeling of the floor giving way, the silence on the other end of the line. They don't tell you what it's like to be the one. The risk was always real. It was there in the data, hiding in plain sight. A ghost in the machine. It just looked normal. It wore the camouflage of the everyday. It looked like another Tuesday. It looked acceptable. Nothing in the data demanded panic. That's why no one panicked. This is Armchair Files, and this was File 019.